Today, I'm diving deep into the world of sheriffs in the United States to uncover what really makes them so powerful. Can I figure it out before the end of the video? Sheriffs have been an integral part of law enforcement in the United States for centuries, serving as the chief law enforcement officers in their respective counties. They play a critical role in maintaining law and order, and their significance in local communities cannot be overstated. In many cases, sheriffs are the most visible and accessible representatives of law enforcement, and their presence is often felt more deeply than that of city police departments or state troopers. Sheriffs have long been criticized for their perceived lack of accountability, with some arguing that they wield too much power and are prone to abuse. One of the main challenges facing sheriffs is the blurred lines of jurisdiction, with some arguing that they often overstep their authority and infringe on the rights of citizens. Additionally, the lack of uniform training and standards for sheriffs has led to concerns about their ability to effectively enforce the law. Furthermore, the fact that many sheriffs are elected officials has raised questions about the impact of politics on law enforcement. The consequences of these controversies can be far-reaching, eroding trust in law enforcement and undermining community relations. The role of sheriffs has also been marred by high-profile instances of corruption and abuse of power, which has led to calls for greater oversight and accountability. In some cases, sheriffs have been accused of targeting specific groups, such as racial minorities or immigrants, with aggressive policing tactics that violate their rights. The pushback against sheriff powers has been fueled by high-profile cases of police brutality and systemic racism, which have brought attention to the need for reform and greater accountability in law enforcement. In response to these criticisms, some have argued that sheriffs are essential to maintaining public safety and that their unique role in law enforcement necessitates a certain degree of autonomy. However, others contend that this autonomy can lead to abuses of power and that greater oversight is needed to ensure that sheriffs are held accountable for their actions. The history of sheriffs in the United States is a long and complex one, with roots dating back to medieval England. Initially, sheriffs were responsible for collecting taxes and enforcing the king's laws, but over time their role evolved to include law enforcement and maintaining order in local communities. In the early days of the American colonies, sheriffs played a critical role in maintaining law and order on the frontier, where they often served as the sole representatives of law enforcement. Today, sheriffs continue to play a vital role in law enforcement, with responsibilities that include patrolling rural areas, operating jails, and providing courtroom security. One of the key differences between sheriffs and other law enforcement agencies is their unique role in serving warrants and making arrests. Unlike city police departments, which often have limited jurisdiction, sheriffs have the authority to enforce the law across an entire county, giving them a broad range of powers. Furthermore, sheriffs often serve as the primary law enforcement agency in rural areas, where they may be the only law enforcement presence for miles around. The authority of sheriffs has also been shaped by their role in the historical development of the United States. In many cases, sheriffs were the first point of contact between law enforcement and Native American tribes, leading to complex and often fraught relationships. Similarly, during the Civil Rights era, sheriffs often found themselves at the center of controversy, with some using their authority to enforce segregationist laws and others working to protect the rights of African Americans. In 2015, a dramatic standoff between a sheriff's department and a group of armed militiamen at the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge in Oregon brought attention to the extraordinary powers of sheriffs. The standoff, which lasted for 41 days, was sparked by the arrest of two ranchers who were accused of arson on federal land. The militiamen, who were primarily from out of state, occupied the refuge and demanded that the federal government relinquish control of the land. The standoff was eventually resolved peacefully, but it highlighted the complexities of sheriff powers and the need for greater clarity on their role in law enforcement. The Malheur standoff also brought attention to the issue of jurisdiction and the limits of sheriff powers. In this case, the sheriff's department was called in to assist in the standoff, highlighting the delicate balance between federal and local law enforcement. The incident also sparked a renewed debate about the role of sheriffs in law enforcement and the need for greater accountability and oversight. In conclusion, sheriffs play a critical role in law enforcement in the United States, wielding significant powers that set them apart from other law enforcement agencies. While their authority has been criticized for its perceived lack of accountability and potential for abuse, it is undeniable that sheriffs have a profound impact on their communities and play a vital role in maintaining public safety. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about law enforcement, be sure to check out our other video on the topic.